What's up, basketball fans? Every week in NCAA women's hoops, we see tremendous performances. Buzzer beaters, gritty defensive stands, stat sheet stuffing nights. But sometimes, a single player steals the limelight by pushing her game to heights that make the nation stop and take notice. For Week 9 of the season, that honor belongs to Ta'Niya Latson, a junior guard for Florida State who has been named the Associated Press National Player of the Week. Latson's display of high-volume scoring, all-around hustle, and leadership on the court catapulted her into an elite echelon. In a single contest, she not only matched a program record, but also etched her name alongside the greatest performers of the last 2 decades. Before we break down her show-stopping achievements, let's set the stage. Florida State has been on a roll, boasting a strong 13-2 record coming into Week 9. Fueled by a roster that's meshing at just the right time, the Seminoles find themselves in the national conversation, threatening to rewrite preseason expectations. Yet, amidst the collective success, Ta'Niya Latson has stood out for her playmaking flair, scoring punch and gritty defense. At 5 feet 8 inches, the junior guard might not tower over opponents, but her presence is impossible to ignore, particularly after she posted a 40-point effort that broke headlines across the college basketball landscape. What exactly did she accomplish? How does her performance stack up in the storied annals of ACC history? And what does it mean for her future, as well as Florida State's destiny this season? We'll explore all of that, plus some honorable mentions from around the country, because in a single week, there's never just one story worth telling in women's hoops. But first, let's zero in on the numbers and context behind Ta'Niya Latson's milestone. College basketball thrives on star-making performances, and Ta'Niya Latson's was the kind of game that can alter a season's narrative. During a showdown against Virginia Tech, Latson erupted for 40 points, tying Florida State's program record in the process. As if that weren't enough, she became the first player in the ACC this season to crack the 40-point barrier. For context, big scoring numbers in college hoops are rare, especially at this level of competition where opponents tailor their defenses around an elite scorer. This single-game explosion didn't unfold in garbage time or a trivial matchup either. Virginia Tech ranks among the stronger squads in the ACC, known for their own mix of perimeter threats and interior presence. Latson's 40 points then weren't just an empty stat line, but a necessity to secure Florida State's position in a high-stakes environment. The intangible effect on her teammates can't be understated. With every basket she sank, some from beyond the arc, others off slashing drives, and a handful of contested mid-range jumpers, Latson signaled that no defensive scheme would stop her. The adrenaline from that outburst likely reverberated across the entire Seminoles roster, injecting confidence and a sense that victory was within grasp. One key detail stands out beyond the raw scoring figure. She's one of 8 players in the last 23 years to have 40 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals in a single game. That's not just a cool footnote. It's an achievement that cements her among some of the best to ever grace the women's college hardwood. Scoring 40 might wow the casual fan, but adding 5 assists and 5 steals indicates an all-around game. It says that while she was piling up points, she didn't lose sight of facilitating for her teammates or creating havoc on defense. In the pantheon of ACC stars, only a select few have posted numbers this gaudy. It often takes a generational talent to put up a 45-5 line, because doing so requires a mixture of stamina, skill, and in-game IQ. If opposing guards were too worried about her shot, she'd dish the ball for open looks. If the ball swung the other way, she had quick enough hands to snatch steals. Her interplay of offense and defense might be a blueprint for future ACC standouts, but for now, she's in a class of her own. Florida State stands at 13-2, a record that speaks to how the team has gelled. Latson's heroics underscore how the Seminoles have the potential to upset any powerhouse in the conference, or even in the national scene. A single victory fueled by 40 points might seem like an outlier, but it also hints that Florida State has a star capable of taking over big games. As the season wears on and the ACC schedule intensifies, Florida State can rest assured that in tight matchups, they have a player able to manufacture offense almost at will. There's also the intangible factor of momentum. Big-time performances often galvanize a locker room. Teammates might have watched Latson light up Virginia Tech and come away thinking, "We can beat anyone if she's on fire." That psychological edge could be the difference between a second-round exit in a tournament and a deeper run. While a single game doesn't define a season, it can set a tone that resonates in subsequent practices and matchups. Of course, it's rare that one performance from a single player monopolizes the entire national conversation. This week, we also have a runner-up who truly dazzled, Georgia Amoore from Kentucky. She posted an impressive 25.5 points and 9 assist average in wins over Mississippi State and Vanderbilt. This marks the 6th consecutive game where she scored 20 or more points, an achievement that testifies to her scoring prowess and consistency. Her star moment likely came against the Bulldogs, where she nailed 7 three-pointers, only the second time she's bagged that many from deep this season. Another notable stat, she ranks 2nd in the nation in assists at 7.4 per game. That's a reflection of a guard who not only fills it up on the scoreboard, but also ensures her teammates stay engaged. The best guards elevate those around them, turning an ordinary possession into a scoring opportunity. Amour's runner-up status this week is hardly a second place in any negative sense. With numbers like these, she was a prime candidate for the top spot, overshadowed only by Latson's record-shattering 40-point display. Amour's achievements also remind us that there's a wave of dynamic guards in the NCAA right now who can do it all. Score, distribute, defend. She's adding an extra layer to Kentucky's attack. Opponents can't just chase her off the three-point line because she's equally adept at threading passes through traffic. If she keeps drilling 7 triples in big games, her name might come up again for Player of the Week honors soon. Every AP poll cycle, multiple outstanding performances fly under the radar simply because the top 2 overshadow them. Here are some additional names that turned heads. Jordan Jenkins has quietly emerged as a powerhouse at UTSA, anchoring the team with her scoring and interior presence. Though the Roadrunners aren't a typical national headliner, her steady production continues to keep them competitive. Her aggression around the hoop and ability to convert under pressure speak volumes about her consistency this season. Faith Masonius has proven her mettle in the always competitive Big East, making an impact through hustle rebounds, timely defensive stops, and the occasional 20-point outburst. If she keeps up this balanced approach, Seton Hall could secure a spot in the conference's upper tier, benefiting from her blend of energy and offensive spurts. Juju Watkins remains a central figure for USC, combining a natural scoring instinct with strong tempo control. Though overshadowed this week by Latson's 40-point show, Watkins routinely piles up points, assists, and intangible leadership that have helped power the Trojans to an impressive start. Even when not making national headlines, her multifaceted game ensures USC's momentum remains steady. Let's circle back to the star of the week, Ta'Niya Latson, and examine her game in more detail. Standing at 5 feet 8 inches, she doesn't intimidate opponents with size. Instead, she uses speed, timing, and a knack for reading defenses. She often capitalizes on angles others might not even notice, slipping through cracks in the lane for a layup or using a sudden hesitation dribble to freeze a taller defender. Her shooting range extends beyond the arc, forcing defenders to crowd her. That's when she can explode off the dribble, either finishing with a soft floater or drawing contact for free throws. Drawing fouls is an art, and Latson excels at it, especially in tight contests where each trip to the line matters. The side benefit is that she might put an opposing post player into foul trouble, which further opens up space for the Seminoles. Defensively, it's the quick hands that stand out. At her height, racking up 5 steals means she's all over the passing lanes and pouncing on loose balls. Coach remarks often revolve around her unwavering motor. She doesn't coast when Florida State is up by double digits, nor does she panic when they're down late in the fourth quarter. That steadiness keeps her in a rhythm, letting her fill whichever role the team needs at the time: prime scorer, lead facilitator, or lockdown defender. Having achieved this milestone, being named AP's Player of the Week and joining an exclusive club of 8 players over 23 years to post 40 points, 5 assists, and 5 steals, Latson now carries heightened expectations. Once you show the ability to explode for 40, fans want to see if you can do it again or maintain a similarly high level of performance. Coaches might also demand more from her in terms of leadership, particularly in close games where the margin for error is razor thin. Ta'Niya Latson's 40-point, 5-assist, 5-steal performance etched her name into Florida State's record books and the broader NCAA conversation. It's a testament to her versatility, grit, and willingness to put the Seminoles on her back in clutch moments. For Florida State, it's a thrilling sign that they have an alpha scorer who can tilt the outcome of big games. While for women's college basketball fans, it's another demonstration of the sport's growth, where 40-point nights and triple-threat stat lines are becoming more frequent. If you're a fan of women's hoops, this is exactly the kind of show you tune in for. The question is how Latson and the Seminoles will follow up this performance. With the ACC race heating up and a slew of tough games on the horizon, the rest of the season offers Latson a stage to validate that this week was no fluke, but the beginning of something special. If that's the case, we may well see her name pop up again in National Player of the Week discussions, an honor that, given her trajectory, won't surprise anyone.